Hey guys, my name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel. I thought I would begin another reading after 10 experiment. Today is Monday, May 13th, and it is the morning right now, but I'm thinking that tonight and throughout the rest of this week, I want to do another one of my reading after 10 challenges to challenge myself to read more. We're almost halfway through the month, and I've only been able to read 3 books to completion so far. So the last book I just read was a DNF. It was Again But Better by Christine Riccio. It just wasn't a book that I enjoyed, and I've been feeling like hella slumpy ever since. I tried reading 150 pages of Necessary People, and this one might end up being a DNF for me as well. I just cannot get into this for the life of me, and it's actually so incredibly slow in my opinion for a thriller, and just this one's putting me in a slump as well, so I'm putting this one aside. I tried to get into How Not to Die Alone. I got about 30 pages in, and I'm not feeling this one either. I'm just very slumpy at the moment. Then I picked up Something in the Water. I read the first 10 pages of this, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this main character is already really annoying me, and I'm not liking this writing style at all. And then I tried to pick up The Chalk Man. Pretty much every book on my May TBR is making me hella slumpy. I tried to get into this one, and I don't know if I just wasn't in the mood for a thriller at that exact second, but I just couldn't get into this one either, even though I only did read the first 10 pages or so of this one. So this one might be one that I pick up again when I get more in a thriller mood. So I might get to this one this week. This one's just so short, and it's it looks so easy to read, and it's flashing back and forth between the 80s and the present, and I am really interested in reading this one, so maybe I will have to give this one another shot. But what I'm trying to say is that all of the recent books that I've been picking up have been making me hella slumpy, and I'm not okay with it, and it's really sucking. So I thought maybe if I do another reading after 10 experiments, that it'll encourage me to keep pushing myself to read, even though I might not want to after 10 o'clock at night. You didn't see the last time I did this experiment. I'll put a link in the description for it. I believe I did it in February or March this year, but it was a really great reading week for me. I was able to get a lot of reading done, and I was really enjoying the books I was reading the last time I did this experiment. So yeah, that is all for now. I might start reading one of these books in the afternoon and then just update you tonight at 10 o'clock where I'm at and what I'm reading. And I'll be vlogging throughout the week every night after 10 o'clock to update you on how my reading's going. I'm just really excited to be doing this again, and I hope that doing this experiment kind of helps me get back into the swing of things with reading, because I need it. And it is about midnight right now. I'm starting a little bit late because me and my sister just caught up on Jane the Virgin, and we just binge watched 4 episodes in a row, and it's just so good. I just love that show so much. But I have been reading today, which is good because I'm starting to get back out of my slump. And I read 150 pages of The Chalk Man this afternoon from 5 to 7-ish. I am loving it so much so far, and I have about 120 pages left of it. I'm gonna try to read as much of it as I can right now, but I know I'm probably not gonna be able to finish it tonight because I'm super tired, and I have to wake up at 9 tomorrow, which isn't super early, but I don't know. So I'm probably gonna have to finish this one either in the afternoon tomorrow if I get any time, even though I'm working all day, so it probably won't be until tomorrow night when I get home, or maybe I'll just save it for tomorrow night's reading after 10 and finish it then. But I'm really liking this. Very interesting thriller that kind of takes place in the 1980s and now present day, and it's going back and forth, and it honestly is basically It by Stephen King. Let's be real, it follows this group of teenage boys in the 80s with their bikes and whatever, and then they have a girl friend that's a redhead, and they're all secretly in love with her, I think. It's literally the book It by Stephen King, except instead of a clown, it's a murder of a child, and people are losing their minds, and it's about trying to figure out who the killer is and who the Chalk Man is and all that fun stuff. It's a really interesting book though. I'm really enjoying it a lot. So I'm at 150 pages now. I'll update you tomorrow how far I was able to get. It is night 2 of my reading after 10 experiment. This is just water, by the way. I just like putting my water in mugs for some reason. Last night I read another 50 pages of The Chalk Man. I got to page 200 I believe, and I stayed up until about 1 in the morning reading this, and then I took it to work this afternoon and I read a little bit more while I was at work on my break, and so now I have like this tiny little bit left. I have like about 50 pages left, so I'm gonna bust this out right now. By the way, right now it's about like 11 o'clock right now, so not starting too late. It's just so freaking good. Like, I'm really enjoying this, like, a lot more than I thought I was going to. And there was a freaking plot twist last night that I read that I just, like, my mind was like, what? Really excited to finish this right now. I also wanted to update you that today I actually finished my reread of Fangirl. I've been listening to the Fangirl audiobook for like 2 weeks now, and I finally finished it today. And I'm just so sad that I finished it because I just love that book so much, and I swear I could just like listen to Kath for like ever. Like, I just love her so much. But I've been giving some thought, like trying to think what else am I gonna read after I finish this one, because like now I'm in a reading mood again. I think I'm finally like out of that weird slump, and I just got some very interesting book mail today, and that is The Night Before by Wendy Walker, and this one actually goes on sale today, May 14th. So I'm kind of like maybe gonna continue with this thriller mood. I might just jump into this one next. I don't really know. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be finishing this, so I'll let you know my thoughts tomorrow, and then I'm probably gonna be starting this one because why not? Hello again. It is about 10:40 at night right now, but I had a bit of a life thing today that was really annoying, which is why the background looks different. So my room felt really small. Like, this new room that I'm living in felt kind of small, so I wanted to move around my bed and my desk to a different area of the room to give myself more space, which would have been really freaking great. But then in the process of moving my desk, it literally fell apart. Like, okay, and this desk has been like hanging on by a limb for a while now. Like, I knew that. Like, it barely survived the move up here, to be honest. Like, I don't even know how we did, to be honest, because like the right side of it was like falling apart. Like, the screws were falling apart as we were carrying it up the stairs, but it was somehow stable enough and it was fine in here. But then I tried to move it across the room, just me and my sister, and it literally fell apart. Like, it ripped apart and it's broken. So I don't have a desk anymore. So now this like whole side of the room is completely bare because I was gonna put my desk here, and now my TV is just against the windowsill and I am filming on a giant stack of books as a tripod, and my life is a fucking mess right now, but it's fine, everything's fine. And I don't know how to have a room without a desk. So until I get a new desk, I just need to like figure some shit out, I guess. I painted my nails a new color. You can't really tell, but it's like this really shiny, like bluish purple grayish color. Anyways, let's talk about what you're actually here to watch this vlog for. So last night I did finish The Chalk Man. I would probably give this one like a 4 out of 5 stars. Like, I really, really loved it. It didn't quite like hit that mark for me of like a 5-star book, but like I still did really enjoy it, and I did get very creeped out by this. And like the first night I was reading this, I had a nightmare about this book that night, so I think that that's saying a lot about how this book is affecting my brain, because like, whew, this book is just so creepy and it's written so well, and like it has the perfect amount of horror that I really like to read in books. So it was definitely like really creepy, really good, and I really liked it. It was a good time. And then last night, it was an early night, so I decided to pick up The Night Before, and I only got to chapter 3. I only got like 15 pages in before I like passed the fuck out, because like right after I finished reading The Chalk Man, I went back through my copy of Fangirl, and cause like I listened to the audiobook of Fangirl this time that I was rereading it, so I was putting bookmarks in the audiobook while I was listening to it, and then I wanted to go back into my physical copy and like mark it all up, because I'm like a nerd like that. After I finished reading The Chalk Man, I went back through my Fangirl audiobook and was like making marks in my physical copy for like probably 30 minutes or an hour, and then I didn't get to start this book until like almost 1 in the morning. So I only read 15 pages because I was freaking tired, and because like the beginning of this book is very slow, so like I don't know if it's gonna like put me in another slump. Like, I'm kind of scared. I'm just like scared of like falling back into a reading slump. That is not what I want to do right now. So hopefully this book can be awesome. Hello, it is night 4 of my reading after 10 experiment, and it is about 11:45 at night right now. Last night I actually managed to read 128 pages of The Night Before, and I read from about 11:30 at night until about 1 in the morning. And this book definitely had a slow start, which made it kind of hard to get into. Like, I struggled to get into the first like 30 or 40 pages, but then it finally started to pick up after that, and I started to really enjoy it. And now I'm on page 218. I read a little bit of this earlier today. I've had like the longest day today, so I just got a lot of shit done today. Like, I went boxing, I went to work, I filmed 2 YouTube videos, I edited 2 YouTube videos, I got shit ready to post, and just like a lot of stuff was going on today. So then I went and like laid in bed around like 7 to start reading, and then I read probably like 50 pages before I passed the fuck out. And so then I woke up at like 9:15 and I was like so disoriented because I was like, oh my god, like I hate taking naps because like I don't know what day it is when I wake up, and it just like freaks me out. It's like really disorienting to wake up from a nap for me, and especially like when you wake up that late at night at like 9:15. And then I was like, oh my gosh. So then now it's like 11:45, so I think I'm just gonna finish this book. I only have about 80-ish pages left. I don't know how I feel about this one yet. It's like I'm still intrigued, and there's some like little plot twists being thrown that I'm like, okay, but like I don't know, like I'm kind of curious to see where it goes, and I feel like the ending is gonna determine whether or not I really enjoy this book or not. Because so far, like, the beginning was hard to get into, and then the middle of it started to get interesting, and I got hooked onto it, and I was able to get through a lot of it. But then trying to get back into this book earlier tonight, I don't know if it's just because I was like really tired, but I was like having a hard time like concentrating on what I was reading, and I kept like checking my phone or like, you know, falling asleep. Hopefully I'll just be able to fly through this ending and figure out how this ends. I do have some predictions of where it's going, so hopefully I'm wrong. I apologize that I look like a hot mess, but it's because I just got home from work. I actually didn't get home until like about 10:30, and it's about 11:15 right now. I couldn't even start reading at 10 if I wanted to because I was still at work. It was a pretty busy Friday for us, and I am freaking tired. As far as an update goes for last night, I did finish reading The Night Before by Wendy Walker, and I ended up giving this book 2.5 out of 5 stars. It was not really my favorite, and I kind of felt like this book was kind of like your standard thriller that didn't really bring anything new to the table. Like, I just feel like this is a story that I've read like 100 times. Like, this book was really hard to get into, and then like once it started to pick up, I got like really hooked, and I like flew through it, and then I found the ending to be very like melodramatic and like just a bit too convenient. I don't know. It was just kind of disappointing, so yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Not too sure what I'm planning on picking up tonight. I know for sure though that I want to try to read as much as I can tonight, because tomorrow night we're having a little like housewarming thing here at the new apartment, and so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to read at all tomorrow night. And like, I didn't even think about that when I was starting this reading after 10 for a week experiment. That's why tonight I really want to read something. Hello! It is about 12 in the morning right now. Tonight we had our housewarming at the new apartment with a bunch of our friends, and it actually ended a little bit earlier than I expected it to, which is actually great because I'm not like feeling the best today. I'm like super crampy, and yeah, I'm just like not really in a partying mood right now, so I'm kind of like low-key kind of glad it ended early. I'm excited because like now I actually have time to read before I go to bed, probably at least an hour's worth. 2 of my friends got us this really nice blanket, like a throw blanket, and it's just so cute and so thoughtful and so sweet of them. Anyways, to update you on last night, I was about to start reading and I literally passed the fuck out. Like, yesterday was a really long day. I was really tired from work, and I got home kind of late, and it was just a very long day, and I literally like opened the first page of my book to read and I fell asleep at like 12:20. Yeah, it was a pretty early night for me yesterday, so I didn't read anything yesterday. I broke my streak. But this morning, I did start reading The Family Upstairs by Jewell. I got approved for an e-arc on NetGalley, so I've been reading that on my phone, and I'm about 70 pages into it, and this one is a thriller that's coming out in August, I want to say. It's coming out some point later this year, but Jewell is one of my favorite authors ever. She's like one of my favorite thriller authors, so I'm really looking forward to this one, and so far it's okay. I'm like waiting to get hooked. It's kind of going back and forth between these two point of views that I'm like having trouble like separating them in my mind. I'm still really excited about it. And also today I finished listening to The Poet X on audiobook while I've been driving. It's like a really short audiobook. It's only 3 parts, but I just started it the other day and I finished it today, and it was so good and so beautiful and just wow. That is the update for today. I'm gonna start reading The Family Upstairs, and I will update you tomorrow on how far I get. Hello again, it is night 7. Last night I read for about an hour, like as I said I would. I only managed to read 30 more pages. I'm like somewhat interested in the book, but it's not like totally grasping my attention. And so now I'm 100 pages into it, and I have about 150 pages left of it. This is why I hate reading e-arcs on my phone, because each page technically that you read, you have to swipe like 3 times per page to read a full page. Does that make sense? It'll say you're on like page 42 for like 3 swipes of like reading a page. So it feels like I actually read a lot more, even though I didn't. I spent an hour reading and I only managed to read 30 pages because I kept getting so distracted and like checking a bunch of my social media pages and like doing a bunch of other stuff on my phone. And which is another reason why I hate reading on my phone, because I get very easily distracted. And I know it's like you can just put it on Do Not Disturb, but like, no. So I don't super know if I'm like in the mood to read The Family Upstairs again. I did get some exciting book mail today from Berkeley Romance. The first one is The Bride Test, which I totally forgot that I was getting, and I actually already read this book earlier this month because I picked it for one of my Book of the Month selections. So I've already read this one, loved it, it was so cute. And then the next 2 is The Wedding Party by Jasmine Gilroy, and then Aisha at Last. But these are both arcs, and this one goes on sale in June and this one goes on sale in July, and they're both like romances. I didn't actually like The Proposal by this author, but I'm definitely willing to give her other books a shot. I don't know, like I'm kind of more in a romance mood at the moment, but then also I kind of want to save romances for the romanceathon happening next month, so I don't know, I'm kind of torn. Also just kind of in a mood where I don't really want to read. I'm trying to push myself to read every single day this week, and even though I already failed on Friday, I'm still determined to make it happen for at least 6 out of the 7 of these days. You know, maybe the one thing I have learned from this experiment is that I don't want to read every single day, and that's fine. I'm fine with it. Because nights like tonight where it's 11 o'clock at night and I just got home from work and finished making some food to eat right before bed, and then I just come and lay down and I'm like flippin' tired from working all day. I just don't want to read those days most of the time, which is fine. So yeah, I might read tonight, I might not read tonight. I don't know. I'll get back to you tomorrow with a wrap up of this whole week. Alright, it is Monday morning and my reading after 10 experiment is over. So to update you on last night, I actually ended up staying up kind of late editing this video and another video that I previously filmed because I realized I wanted to get this video up as soon as I could today. So that kind of set me back a little bit, and I didn't actually start reading until about 12:45 in the morning. But I had a really early morning this morning. I had to wake up at like 8:30, so I only read for about 15 minutes. And I did continue my read of The Family Upstairs on my phone. The only nice thing about reading on my phone is I like the fact that I can like read on my phone and like put my head like under the covers and just like get ready for bed while just kind of like reading on my phone, because like with a physical book you can't really like do that. So I guess that's like one of the only perks about reading on your phone, which is nice for like late night reading. I'm kind of getting more invested in The Family Upstairs. It's just like taking me some time to get into, but I think I'm around like the 120 page mark. The thing I was trying to do this week was to read more, get out of my reading slump, and try to like encourage myself to read daily, even if I don't want to. Like it always relaxes me and I always feel a lot better when I have read during the day. I have also realized though that sometimes it's just not possible for me to read every single day, and I'm fine with that. Like for example, those days where I just work a double, I'm working all day at work and then I don't get home until nearly 11 o'clock at night and I'm just like so beyond exhausted most of the time those nights I just don't want to read. I literally just go lay in bed, check my like Instagram, and then pass the fuck out, fall asleep. I don't know, but I do like this reading after 10 experiment and challenge because like it does encourage me to read more, and like I probably wouldn't have picked up the Chalk Man if I wasn't like pushing myself to read that day. And I ended up really liking the Chalk Man, and I ended up technically completing 4 books this week. 2 of them were audiobooks, Fangirl and the Poet X, and then I read the Chalk Man and the night before, and I got pretty much like halfway through The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell, so like it did encourage me to read a lot more this week, which is what I appreciate and what I wanted. So that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching as always, and let me know what your thoughts are about these kind of like reading challenges, like reading after 10 daily. Have you ever done a challenge like this, and like were you successful? I feel like even though I wasn't technically successful because I didn't read anything on Friday, I still feel really good about this reading experiment because I was able to read so much. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys soon in a new video. So thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you guys next time.